I was born in 1985. My mom grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts when there was a huge heroin epidemic. I was raised my entire life with my mom on disability, and she didn't have time to pay attention to what the schools were doing. I can only imagine what parents did over the years as more women got jobs, focused on their careers, and rushed to get their kids into preschool. It seemed like we were on mass production to let our schools take over. I mean, the Federal Board of Education had it all handled, so parents just assumed that things were happening right, especially Democrats. They do assume the federal government is always doing good, and when they fail, they always have good excuses for them. And now that we're actually going to school board meetings, letting them know what we feel about their system, they don't like being told what to do. They think they have power over our children. And now that we're actually starting to go in and take their positions, they're scared. Listen to the Minnesota Teachers Association.
And what we're hearing is the stakes have never been higher. These schools, and what we're hearing is the stakes have never been higher. These school board races are happening in places where perhaps there haven't been contested elections, or maybe it's been the local banker who has an interest in strong schools, or maybe it's a student's grandparent who wants to give back to the schools that have given so much to their family. But what we are finding is that there are more and more contested races. These candidates aren't coming from, a lot of times they're being funded from a national agenda and getting national money. In fact, we are very aware that I think last year in Brainerd, there was about $40,000 spent in a race that typically would not have had anybody. Outside of the state mailers coming from southwestern Minnesota, with an interest in what is going on in Brainerd, Minnesota. You have to ask yourself why.
You don't have to ask yourself why. We're sick of schools thinking that they own our children. Period. In fact, when you look at this, 1, 2, 3 men dressed as women. This is mental illness. This is also not a fair showing of any school. We can't have this, and they know that we're going to start coming. We're going to go into the schools again, and we're going to take our children's rights back. We're going to give them a proper education, give them skills, not teach them to be emotional misfits that feel like words are violence. In no way, shape, or form does this help our community or our society. We are just making people who think words are violence and then are okay waging wars based on debt. One day at a time, more and more Americans are no longer sitting by letting this country burn. We are going to take it back through the Enlightenment principles that were brought to us by Greece and the French Enlightenment. We understand individual rights and private property. That is what America is based on, and our school systems are not going to change that. Period. I hope you learned something. I'm Tristan with Radically Rational Radio. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay resilient.